Hello guys, this is a follow-up video to the everything you need to know about image to 3D and mesh coloring video, where I explained how I made this object and explained how colors, materials could be helpful for selection, for Boolean tools and this type of stuff. I was going to add another challenge here, and I ran into a problem, and I want to show you what the problem was. I make this a separate video. I want to show you what the problem was and how to solve it. So we have here a relatively complex mesh. I wanted to add a placeholder or two placeholders for hanging it on the wall to put a nail. So the idea was I wanted to show the cube selection. I have to select the subject first, okay. This is the cube selection we have over here. It's a part of selection. If exact selection is not on, it will select just whatever is partially intersecting. But for example, if we go over here, you see I can start selecting these faces, but over here will not select because they're not, you have to make a cut to select. But nevertheless, over here, I wanted to use a percentage based, and I was going to make exact selection and set it over here 80. So let's rotate it this side so you can see what I'm doing. And over here 20. So this will basically cut in this sides, and then I would move it down from the top just 70% from the bottom. And the idea here is that I want to create an incision that it's going to be used as a reference. I'll deselect everything. So you see by default it selects whatever is in the cube, and I just need this one, these points over here. So now I'm going to 3D sketch, and I'm going to draw over here, use these reference points. I'm drawing, I don't know the exact measurements for this purpose. Tutorial purpose, I'm just making a 10 radius, and then I would select over here these edges, these two edges over here, and let's go over here the same two edges over here, and I'm simply, let's make sure, yeah, just two selected, and I'm simply moving it up. Okay, I don't know the exact size, just visualizing it, eyeballing it. If you see what we got over here, we got kind of where the nail gets put in, it kind of slides up and has this rounded part where it rests over here, so it looks okay. Now I'm going to use fill polygons, and as you can see I have on my back face coloring, you can see this is just a face at this point, just a surface, so it needs to have thickness, and I'm adding thickness -5, let's say. It doesn't matter, it's mirror thickness, so we'll add on both sides, which will kind of intersect in the object and come out. And my idea was that I'm going to use Boolean, select this object over here, and do either Boolean union or any of this. The same idea we did before while modeling this object to show how material can be beneficial. So if I go to the material selection now, I can select this material, and then I can delete it. And now you can see, we see the back face coloring from inside. This is basically hollow, but it's not manifold, doesn't have thickness. So we can go to add thickness, and we add a negative thickness to fill in the remaining. So that was the plan, and to make it something simple, you can see it looks okay without mirror thickness. This is the thickness where the wall would be, the nail would be going in. Everything looks okay until you start looking in deeper into it. And I made a test, it's not manifold. If you look in deep over here, look the mess that got created. So let me show you what happened over here. Let's see if I make it -1. Maybe this will still be okay, but you still see things coming in here. So let me show you what the problem is. So when you have a mesh like this, I'm turning off selection. Okay, you have a mesh like this, they are so tiny in these faces touching each other, and so every tiny bit that you start adding thickness means that these faces will start colliding, punching into each other, self-intersect, and this will be a problem. So maybe you can make it 0.01, but then this wouldn't be strong enough for the thickness for the nail, and if you want to print it, it wouldn't be enough, well, thickness probably, and if you start playing with it, magic fix stuff, you just mess up the entire design. So the challenge is, how can I still get something hollow over here and make it work? And the quick answer is we have to use Boolean, a second object. So let's get rid of this object. I made a copy of it, so I'm going to get rid of this entire object, and I'll bring the copied object over here. This is what I have, and I'm actually going to use, I created an other object over here, which is a simple object. I let it a little bit in, we don't need the entire thickness, just for purpose of they shouldn't overlap, but you don't need this actually so much, definitely not. Let's align this object to this drawing to my mesh 19, this is called 119, and I'll align it to the front. Where are we here? We are at the back. So I'm aligning it to the back. Okay, and let's just move it up a little bit. It shouldn't be the center. Okay, something like this. And now we're going to do the same process where we're going to add fill polygon and add thickness, and let's have a mirror thickness of 5. Oops. Okay, mirror thickness of 5, and let's give it a different color so we can make it hollow. Select these two, and let's do a union, or again any of these boolean will work. Now let's go material selection, select this material and delete them. Okay, so now if is this on? Yes. If I isolate them, you see the back. They intersect. If I isolate this, you can see the color, back face coloring. That's basically these faces in the back. So now I can add thickness. Okay, I can add thickness actually. Mirror thickness 5 doesn't really matter. You can see now if I added mirror thickness, this is basically thickness of 10, where the nail would rest. So again, it's not focusing on the exact design. It's just basically the concept over here. So this basically will solve this problem. And now I would go to merge them together, basically. Somehow, if I added mirror thickness, I added thickness, made it bigger as well, so it doesn't matter. I want to add thickness only the inside, otherwise I made it bigger. So we go to, let's see, where I go here, add thickness. And let's add just, not mirror thickness, just negative thickness, so it puts it inside. So now we got this, and now let's combine them with this one as a union, and let's do it like this, simply combining them. And now if you see the coloring, backface coloring is still on, there's nothing to show here. This is a one object, and to test that, I'll test the flip normals option to see if this is actually manifold. And you can see flip normals all geometry. It was successfully able to flip everything, and now it can flip it back, basically fixed everything. So this means this is manifold. So this is how you solve this. You have this hole over here that you can put the nail inside and so on. And yeah, so that's basically it. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you want me to show anything else. Thank you.